Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Horror Movie Time. And The Omen is actually one of my favorite horror movie franchises of all time. I've done reviews for the original trilogy, the first one being an absolute classic, the other two also being really good. The TV movie that came after that was okay, and the remake, I don't even know why they bothered, to be honest. It was basically the same movie as the first one, but without the excellence. There's a television series that also ran for about 8 or 10 episodes. Came out in 2016, but it was, again, it's actually okay. I've not done the review for it. To be honest, I'm not really sure if I really want to watch it again. But this year, 2024, we have a prequel movie. This is the sixth movie in the franchise. I got excited when I saw the trailer, which is about a couple of months ago, and definitely want to try it out. So, the first Omen is a prequel to the original film, which came out in 1976, and this is the sixth movie, like I mentioned, in the Omen franchise. It stars Nell Tiger Free. I do not think I've seen her in anything else, but she gave a very incredible performance. Taufik Barhom, Sonia Braga, Ralph Ineson, and I couldn't really understand a lot of what he's saying, and Bill Nye, who's he is an absolute fantastic actor, and I think his main role, main aim in life is to get killed in every movie. he's he's absolutely great. We also have a very small, appearance by Charles Dance at the very beginning. Another, older actor who's kind of like made for horror films, to be honest. So this movie is about a conspiracy to bring about the birth of the Antichrist. So like I mentioned, it's Damien's birth brought about by, factors in the church as we find it. So initially the movie starts with this father named Brennan, who talks to an older priest named Father Harris, played by Charles Dance, about an occult conspiracy, and he shows the photograph of a baby with the name Skiana on it. The older priest is killed when a falling pipe falls onto his head. We then see the timeline as 1971 in Rome, and there are a lot of left-wing protests basically against the church, what they stand for. There's this novitiate named Margaret Diano. She arrives to Rome and is taken to the orphanage in the movie, which by Cardinal Lawrence and Father Gabriel, because she is he's been a mentor of sorts to her. So she's brought to the orphanage, and she meets up with the sister Silva, nun Angelica, and her roommate, who is another fellow novitiate named Luz. So once she's there, she meets up with, she also sees this mistreated orphan named Carlita, who is, she's like the odd duck in the end, and people kind of like shy away from her, but they don't really treat her properly. So Margaret is actually drawn towards her. So I don't really know about these things about novitiate, but apparently they can actually go out and have fun. So she goes with Luz to a disco. They dress kind of like provocatively a little bit, and at the disco, while they're having fun, Margaret dances with a man named Pablo, and she blacks out. She doesn't really know what happens. And the next day, she doesn't have any memory of what happened at the after she was dancing with them. So this lot of things happen in the. She gets scared a little bit by what seems an apparition of a scary nun. And well, what happens in the movie is they find this basic radicals within the church. They have a feeling that Christians are going away from the church. They are revolting against the power of the Catholic Church. So against the rise of secularism and possibly even people leaving the church, they want to bring about the Antichrist to create fear and drive people back to the church. Of all the stupidest ideas that the church can think of, this one is right up their alley. to be honest. So yeah, they brought the Antichrist to life. How they got the demon wolf kind of hijackal creature, I have no idea. But they basically are trying to get the devil to birth his child. So there were a bunch of babies that were initially meant to be the vessel that uh, carries the Antichrist, and all these babies were deformed. They had some problem. They all had the mark of the 666 on them, and Margaret finds out that Carlita has actually got the uh, got the mark, but it's on the roof of her tongue. The the baby that's actually the baby girl that's actually deemed to be the perfect vessel actually has it on her head, and obviously it's going to be Margaret. That's the twist in the movie. She is apparently she and then she regains back some of the memory. She was actually uh, what do you call capture at the disco. She was actually taken back, and she remembers that she was impregnated by in a satanic ritual by this creature. Her face was covered, so she didn't really see it, but it's basically a demonic jackal. So that's how she got pregnant, and basically once realization sets in, there's an accident. Her belly fills like this. They all the nuns who are and the sisters who are basically in the conspiracy, even Luz is part of it. They all take her, and she finds out that Cardinal Lawrence, an almost father-like figure to her, is actually the head of the conspiracy team. So they basically take her, and then she gives birth to two kids, to two babies, twins, a girl who is normal, and the Antichrist. She manages to stab Lawrence, but she can't bring herself to kill her son. She is then stabbed by Luz, but saved by they leave her to die in the chamber it's set ablaze. The jackal dies in the flames, but Carlita comes to save Margaret and the baby girl, and they leave. And the baby boy is given, as you know it from the movie, is given to the American diplomat Robert Thorne to replace they say the dead child, so that his wife Catherine doesn't know that her child is dead. So they name the baby Damien. A few years later, you see Margaret living in seclusion in the forest, in the mountains with snow-capped and all that. I don't know exactly where it is, but she and Carlita are living happily with their daughter. They seem to be like a nice, quiet little group, a little family. Father Brennan comes and warns that the conspirators will be hunting her down eventually, and that the son has been named Damien, but she wants him off. She doesn't want him to come near them at all. So that's the end of the movie. Yeah, pretty. I would say it's a pretty run-of-the-mill horror movie. It didn't really excite me too much. I was a little bit bored. I guess there's a few scares here and there, but I didn't really feel anything great in this movie. The story is good. That I will give it that. The story is actually good. It connects with the first film. But was there a point to actually make this movie? This prequel wasn't really required. The good performance by Nell Tiger Free, and I think the girl who plays what's her name, Carlita, Nicole Sores. She's actually pretty good as well as in the movie. And that's kind of about it. Those two do a good job. The movie was made on a budget of 30 million. It made 53.7 million at the box office, and at the end of May, it was released to home theater, Hulu, and Blu-rays and DVDs, coming up in July 30th. So you can watch it on streaming services right now. If you're a fan of the original film, go watch it. But it doesn't really seem to be something that, maybe you could have had something else. But I will give this movie a 7 out of 10. That's about it. Thank you. Good night.